All right. So, welcome to another day at the book club. The book club. We've been studying our book, "Believe It" by Jaime Ken Lima, and today we're going to chapter 6 of the book. So, chapter 6. It's just the title. We're going to be discussing about authenticity today. Chapter 6 is titled "The Believe in the Power of Authenticity." Believe in the power of authenticity. Kind of chewing my tongue there. Quote that comes to mind even as we start is that from Oprah Winfrey, and she says that being herself has made her so much money that if she knew that earlier on, she would have started being herself much earlier. And that's just the power of being yourself, being original, being authentic, being genuine, being who you are, on the inside, and it was that the book starts with this quote. Bernard Baruch talks about be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind, right? Be who you are. When we started, we did introduction to the book. We talked about several nuances around the whole book itself. And one of the things we said is that typically, people who are not confident in themselves and want to join a group, or who are influenced by peer pressure groups, will typically want to find out what the peer pressure wants, then adjust their person to fit that peer pressure, and thereby they make themselves slaves to that grouping. The real way of living is to be who you are. When you are who you are, the people that are not for you, that are not a member of your tribe, will go away. And the people that belong to your tribe will gravitate towards you. You don't need those who want to kill the person of who you are. People who want to dominate over you are not people that are a part of your progress, a part of your destiny, a part of your faith, a part of the good life that God has for you, right? So it's about being who you are, and living the truest version of who God has made you to be, the highest expression of who you are. That is what is called success, victory, living in this life. Anything short of that, then you're not living, you're dying. You're doing something other than what the Creator made and want you to be. So, just a reminder of what we had said, what I just talked about, the purpose, the reason why we're here is to live the truest and most authentic and highest version or expression of all that we were created to be. It is not to be a second fiddle to anybody. It is not to be like anybody. It is to be exactly who you are, who you were created to be. There is a place, there is a hole that the Creator has created each one of us to fill, and He has created us as that size of that hole. We'll begin to become anything other than that size of that hole, then will become useless, because we'll not be able to plug, fitting into the place that He has created for us, right? We'll begin to try to fill other people's holes, and therefore nobody is filling our own. We live a vacuum in life. We live life shortchanged, and if life is shortchanged by us, life also will not give us of its treasure, right? And we talked about this also as we journeyed along the book. It was just a quote by Lady Gaga, right? She talks about when she wakes up, she has to talk to herself. It's not how she feels. It's not, oh, I feel like this today, I feel like that tomorrow. It is living the person that you are, not the way you feel. It is the reality of who you are on the inside. You discover your purpose and you live according to purpose. Not the way, oh, I feel this today, I feel that tomorrow. But living the fullest version of all that God has created and called you to be. That is what life is all about. Therefore, sometimes you might need to speak to yourself. It's not what I feel this today, I feel that tomorrow. Is once you have an idea, you have an inkling, you have of what the bending of the Father, of the Creator is in your life, you have to then drag yourself along that path. It's no more your feeling, it's no more what people say is you living a life from an inside out perspective, meaning you have to speak to yourself every day to wake up and walk the calling, walk the purpose, walk the vision that you have seen, that you have written down, that you know that God wants you to walk in, the bending you see in your life, the place where your life gravitates in the place of giftings, in the place of talent, in the place where you find your flow, your sweet spot, where you see yourself excelling, where you see yourself finding your comfort, your rest, the shape that God has made you to be, right? And we're going back into the book, and Amy starts with this. She was saying that what she learned from all of our encounters growing says the biggest risk to our business, right, to our life, also you can replace that, isn't what the competition is doing. The biggest risk to your life is not what other people are doing. It's not what the Joneses are doing. It's not your neighbor's garden. The biggest risk to your life, the biggest risk to you not achieving, being the highest, truest version of all that God has made you, created you to be. The biggest risk of it is not what other people are doing. The risk to it is when you get distracted, when you get influenced by, and when you begin to dilute that which you have because of what you are seeing other people doing, right? When you are getting carried away by what other people are doing, we're all different. So you have to be careful what you are copying, what you are looking at in other people's life, right? Because they have their own pursuit, which might be entirely different from your pursuit, right? Only 2 days ago, I was talking to one of my colleagues who has some specific challenge, right, in his family life. And I just tell him, hey, don't compare yourself to other people. This is your own bending. This is your own assignment. This is your own challenge. You need to focus on it. It becomes your project to make your family happy. Because if you succeed in this thing that is seemingly challenge in front of you, then your family will be happy. Your family will find that peace. And when your family is finding that peace, you also will be successful. So we all have it. So we have to be careful the way we look at other people's garden. We need to focus on our own garden. Tend it. The other people's garden is looking good because they tended it. They did tend it. We all need to tend our own garden so that we can succeed in life, right? And Jaime also goes on and talks about that, just like in friendship and relationships, right? The same is also true here. And this part of that is covered up, so I'm going to shoot it up on my other laptop here so I can read it better. And so she was saying, just like in friendship and relationship, the same is true in business, right? The same is true in life. In business, your authentic relationship is with your customer, right? Because you're doing business, you're relating with the interface. We're in business for the customer, right? And just like I typically would quote Peter Drucker, he says that the essence of any organization is not found within the organization, but outside of the organization, right? So, all that you do has to be in such a way that you are meeting the need of the customer, the need of the essence of your God, of your being, right? But that's just what Amy is talking about here, that we need to keep that authentic relationship with the customer, right? And he's talking about realizing the power of authenticity takes so much pressure and stress off, because there's only one. All right. Because there's only one you, right? And being anyone other than yourself simply won't work. Realizing this sets you free. All right. But key thing is the fact that you need to understand that you need to be focused, right? In business, your customer is your focus, right? Your customer pays the salary, right? Your customer pays the profit, the revenue. And being able to be authentic to your customer, makes all the difference there is for you, for your business, right? And that also affects, like she said, in friendship and in relationship, every part of our life. What people are truly looking for is authentic people, right? Anybody can choose anybody, when everything is going on well. But when people are challenged, when people are oppressed, when people are depressed, they need authentic relationship in their life. Because true love, real love, only comes from authentic relationship, right? All the finicky people that are following you because of your car, because of your money, because of your success, they're all going to fizzle out, right, on the day of your testing. So what you really need in your life to keep your life together and to succeed in life, to get the peace that you need, is people that truly love you because of you, not because of what you have, right? And that's part of what Amy brings up there. And also, still reading from the book, she talks about authenticity doesn't automatically guarantee success. Because you're authentic doesn't mean that you're just going to succeed. The same way, just because you read a book doesn't mean you're going to be a leader, right? However, authenticity is an essential ingredient in the cooking. It's just an essential ingredient for success, right? So when you're not authentic, it's more like guaranteed you're going to fail, right? Even if it looks like you're succeeding, but the day when the flood will come, then it will show that there's no foundation. You don't have any foundation that you're standing on, right? So we need to be authentic if we want to succeed. It's one of the essential ingredients for success. And authenticity is something we can't fail. We can't fake. You can't fake authenticity, because by the mere fact of what authenticity is, it's talking about you being genuine, right? Real stuff, right? You can't be talking about faking true currency, right? You have a fake of the real currency. You can't fake the real. You can't fake the real thing. Once you fake it, it's fake. As it were, And this is from psychology, and this is also a big topic in psychology also. I won't go that much into that, but I'm a psychologist, I'm a psychoanalyst, I do all of that. So I get involved with psychology because of what I do. In psychology, we talk about true self, right, as against false self. We talk about authentic self as against fake self, idealized self, superficial self, pseudo self. And all of those come out of inferiority complex, right? When you're inferior, you're not confident in under your own skin. So you try to be who you are not because you're not confident in yourself. But for as long as you're not confident in yourself and you're becoming you are being who you are not, you're not going to have peace in your life. You're not going to have rest in your life. You're not going to have calmness in your life. You're not going to have peace in your life. You're not going to have rest. You're not going to be truly successful. You might be successful maybe in material things temporarily, but your health, other factors of your life will have problems for as long as you're not living your authentic self. Because your authentic self is a place of rest. It's a place where everything comes together. All right. And this is Carl Gustav Jung, one of my favorite, Carl and Freud, where they are the foremost psychoanalysis, psychoanalysts, in history. And both of them used to work together. Then they separated. They had several distinctions between them. But I love Jung. Probably goes more in line with my Christian faith. And he talks about the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. When you become yourself, that is rest. I remember one lady on a TED talk, talk about dating herself. She had had to marry like 3 times, divorce 3 times, and where she found her peace is when she began to be at peace with herself. When she began to date herself, then she knew that it wasn't about looking for someone else to make her complete. It wasn't about running after someone else to make her happy, but it was that she could find that happiness. She could find that happiness with herself. So it was more of bringing someone else to share herself, not looking for someone else to complete her. And that goes back to what we talk about when we talk about the continuum of life, right? We say life starts with you being dependent, to you being independent, to you being interdependent, right? It's called a continuum of life. We start life where we are also dependent, right? to the place where we grow into independence, but the real place where we get the treasure of life, where we get the fullness of what life is a place where we become interdependent, where we of our own enter into relationship of a give and take, right? It's a place where we operate from a win-win or no deal. We're not after a win-lose relationship, right? But we're going to a relationship whereby we're willing to give of ourselves to be a blessing to people. Like we typically would say, the paradox, of relationship or a healthy relationship is one in which people go into or come into for the sake of what they can give, not what they can receive. However, what keeps them together in the long term is what they receive, not necessarily what they give, right? But if you go into a relationship because of what you can get, you have already failed, right? That's failure. Relationship that last, relationship that are healthy, relationship that bless, that increases you, that brings you to a place of paradise, a place of fullness of life, is one that you must go into, not because of what you can get, but what you can give, right? We can only do that if you're mature. You can only do that if you have found yourself, right? And Alan now Kelly had this to say to her to it all talks about that your authentic self is who you truly are as a person, right? Our authentic self is who we truly are as a person, and that person might have been wounded, right? As a result of occasion of life, that person might have been wounded. It's not to be run away from. Is first of all, you have to find peace with that person, find rest with that person, settle the score with that person. Whatever might have happened in the past and the history, you must not allow it imprison you. You have to find peace with it. Like I've been writing in recent times, you have to embrace the chaos that is you. Embrace your history because that's happened. There's no running away from who you are. You have to embrace who you are. Settle scores. Forgive yourself. Forgive those that offended you. Forgive those that hurt you, right? It won't help you if you hold anybody to ransom, right? You don't deserve it. You don't deserve to hold anybody to ransom because you're holding anybody to ransom. The true person you're holding to ransom is yourself. So you need to release yourself from prison. Let yourself leave. Let people go. Let people go. Don't hold anybody to ransom in your life, irrespective of what they've done for you, because that's the only way you can get your authentic self. If you don't set to score, you cannot move forward. You cannot be your authentic self. Authentic self. To live your authentic self, you have to release people, release your past, forgive yourself, forgive people, see them in the humanity, irrespective of what happened, see the limitation of their lives, right? It's like Jesus Christ on the cross would say, forgive them, Father, because they don't know what they have done. So forgive everybody and release yourself, because that's the only way you can get your authentic self, your true self to live for you, right? So Alana Kelly tells us, he says, your authentic self is who you truly are as a person, regardless of your occupation, regardless of the influence of others. It is an honest representation of you. You have to be authentic means not caring. To be authentic means not caring what others think about you. To be authentic is to be true to yourself through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Right? It's to be true to yourself through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Right? And we're going to go ahead here for the sake of time. Here also I instructed 11 characteristics of an authentic person. Right? The first one we look at here is it says that an authentic person is a person who does not bother about material objects, right? For you to be authentic means that you must not be carried away by material things. You must not be finicky about things. You must not be one that is controlled by material things. You have to live above material things if you're going to be an authentic person, right? We talked about also that there are people that value experience, right? It's living in the moment, living in the present moment. They are not people that are locked up in the past. They are not people that are locked up in the future. They are people that live the moment, enjoy life, enjoy love, enjoy people, enjoy themselves, right? That is what it means to be authentic. It's to be real. It's not to have any fake feeling or fake association, or to truly allow life to touch you. If life does not touch you, then you're not an authentic person. To be an authentic person is someone that allows life to touch you. And it doesn't matter what that part of life that is touching you, whether it's the good, the bad, the ugly, but you allow it to fizzle, you embrace it, take it in, and begin to put it into its right definition. You don't allow it to control you, but you always retain control. But you don't run, right? So there are also people that listen to others. They are not people that ride on their high horse. It's not my way or the high road, right? There are people that believe in other people because they believe in themselves. So they listen. They know that they don't know it all. So they are willing to learn, to grow, and to also to know that to allow other people to influence and help them, because they know they cannot do everything. So they understand the power of multiplication, whereby you can tap into what other people have to increase that which you have, right? They are not afraid to express themselves, right? Because they're not afraid to make mistakes. They understand that they're human. They're not running away from their humanity, right? They're also not people pleasers. They're not people that run after people just to make people happy or flatter people around, right? And they value giving love, right? They value giving love, but it's also not just giving love, they also value receiving love also, right? That's the place we talk about they value experience, and also they value experience, right? They allow themselves to be touched by life, right? There are also people that love themselves, right? Because if you don't love yourself, you cannot be authentic. It's love yourself, love others, right? And they also see and acknowledge their faults. They're not people that are going to be blind to their faults. They know that they're human. They understand their weaknesses. They understand their strengths, right? And they grow their strengths and know how to defend themselves from their weaknesses also, right? And they're also able to embrace their uniqueness. You know, like Peter Drucker said, you cannot build excellence from your weakness. You build perfection, excellence from your strengths, from your uniqueness. They understand the power of that. And number 10 is that they stick to their morals and values, right? An authentic person is someone who has a structure, right? It's not someone who just changes color like a chameleon. It's someone who is stable, who has integrity, who has values, who has a belief system that they live and order their lives after, right? And they also listen to their inner voice, right? That's very important. They listen to their inner voice. That's the power of their life. It's being able to respect their gut feeling. They are connected to what we call infinite wisdom, right? Allowing their intuitive mind to grow and to work for them. They're not people that are always looking for voices from outside, but they are people that live from inside out, right? And so in closing, authenticity is simply being in tune with one's own humanity and using it for good, right? For you to be authentic, you need to understand who you are. You're human. We're all human. If you start seeing yourself as not human, then you won't be authentic, right? You'll be who you are not. But a person that is authentic is one who's in tune with his or humanity and is able from that to use it for good, right? And that's all. That was the last slide there. God bless you. Thank you. Have a great week ahead of you. Bye.